Good morning, wonderful students at home. How are you doing? I hope you are fine this morning. Alright, today we'll be looking at grammar, specifically the clause. What is a clause? Before that, let's look at some objectives we are supposed to achieve by the end of today's lesson. Number one, we should be able to identify the types of clause, locate the noun clause in sentences, and identify their functions. Alright, that is what we want to achieve today. Now, what is a clause? A clause is a group of words that has a finite verb. It also has a subject and a verb. We have the type of clause, the noun clause, the adjectival clause, and the adverbial clause. We'll start with the noun clause today. The noun clause performs the functions of a noun. And what are the functions of a noun? Okay, we'll be looking at that here, from here to there. Before that, let's have a pointer. Let's have a better direction as to what we are looking for. Identifying a noun clause. How can we identify a noun clause? A noun clause contains a subject and a verb. Okay, a subject and a verb, just like what we stated in the definition of a clause. All clauses should contain a subject and a verb. A noun clause is no exception. Okay, I point out the feature and I go straight to the example on the board, so we'll do so simultaneously. Okay, it contains a subject and a verb. Look at this first example. Under a noun clause functioning as a subject. Example 1. Whoever came in through the window is the thief. Whoever is serving as the subject here, and then came is serving as the verb. That's 1. 2. It is a dependent clause. It is a dependent clause. We have two types of clause. We have the dependent and the independent clause. The noun clause falls under the category of a dependent clause. The noun clause, the adverbial clause, and the adjectival clause all fall into the category of dependent clause. Here we have whoever came into the window. This information here is relying on this to make a complete sense. Okay, so do we have here too? Why did that still baffles me? This information here is relying on this to make a complete sense. So it's relying on this dependent clause. 3. It functions as a noun in a sentence. It functions as a noun in a sentence. Now we are coming home here. Now look at here. Whoever came into the window, what is a noun? A noun points out to a place, points out to a person, points out to a thing. If you replace this group of words with a pronoun, it works. Another way to find out whether it is serving as a noun is try and see if you can replace the group of words on the line with one noun. See if you can replace it with the word like something, or see if you replace it with a pronoun, it will work. What kind of pronoun? For example, we can have he, she, it. Because it is a human being, we'll go with he or she. If you put he here and add the remaining one, it works. So you can say he is a thief or she is a thief. Perfect. Alright. The first one is it begins with words like that, what, when, which, who, whom, whomever, why, whichever, whatever, etc. We have more here, okay? Now let's look at these examples once again. Whoever came into the window. So it begins with this. Okay? I'm trying to give you so many options because one will not do. I can't just tell you that it should be replaced with Amaka or with he or she, and it works. If you try this, it doesn't work, try the other one. I've told you that you can replace it with something like it, she, or it. It can be replaced with one noun, and it can also start with either of these relative pronouns. Okay? These ones I listed here. I listed here, sorry. So an example is whoever, another one is why. Okay. Now, let's now go to the uses of a noun clause. It serves the same purpose, the same function as your noun. The first one is serves as the subject of a verb. The subject of a verb or the subject of a sentence. Here, whoever came into the window is the subject. This is what we're talking about. This is the person we're talking about. This underlined part of the sentence. This underlined, okay, is the subject. Whoever came in through the window is the thief. This is the subject. Why they did that? Why they did that still baffles me. This is the subject. Okay? It can also function as a direct object. The direct object. The object part of a sentence, if it's a human being, should take words like him, her. If it's an object, if it is a non-living thing, it can take it. So let's try it once again. I knew that you came late. You can say, I knew it. Okay? This is the object. I knew it. It serves as the object of a sentence in this case. I knew that you came in. If you can replace it with something, example something, example he, him, her, or it, and it works, it's definitely a noun clause. Okay? I keep on hammering on this. If you can replace it perfectly and it works with something, him or her or it, or even somebody's name, and it works out, either of all this, then it is definitely a noun clause. Okay. Now we have Mr. Jegede saw who did it. Mr. Jegede saw who did it. It can be replaced with him. It can be replaced with her. It can be replaced with it. Okay. So this serves as the subject, as the object. You can see that it appears at the object position of a sentence. The object position is normally after the verb. Then we'll have, it can serve as the object of a preposition. What are your prepositions? Now the first thing you should ask yourself. We have the on, we have the of, we have the about, and so on and so forth. With, you know them. Okay, once the group of words appears after the preposition, it is a pointer that it is definitely a noun clause. An example is they brainstorm on what to do to succeed. On what to do to succeed. The group of words in the line comes after this preposition on. You have to be alert. Every tiny detail matters here. Okay? The brainstorm on what to do to succeed. The group of words in the line comes immediately after the preposition. So here, the noun clause is serving as the object of the preposition on. You ask me, why this? Why do we talk about this? Are we ever going to be told to define a noun clause? Yes. It will be called. To be called upon. Your knowledge on this will be called upon in your comprehension passage. Okay? You know how this question comes. What is the grammatical name for this and what is the function? This is where it will be demanded. Then we'll have, we shall speak of preposition. What he did yesterday. So it is the object of this preposition of. Then we'll have a noun clause functioning as an apposition to a noun or pronoun. That bit of information you add in order to throw more light on the subject is the appositive part. So the call that he should be pitched is laughable. We can do all of this. Okay? Remember, it is dependent. It can be done over with. The call is laughable. The call is laughable. This is a position. Throwing more light on the call. Okay? This is the call on the line here. Then we'll have the accusation that the man of God stole the money is unfounded. The accusation that the man of God stole the money is unfounded. This part is serving as an opposition to this. Remember, it starts with that. One of the pronouns I mentioned here, it begins with that. Do not forget, these things come together to join into one. We have that, we have what, alright, we have whoever, we have why. All these are pointers to the fact that they are noun clauses. And then we'll have the noun clause serving as the complement of a verb. Okay? Throwing more light on this part. Okay? Her problem was that she didn't practice enough. What's her problem? This problem is what we have here. Okay? This is just a reflection of this problem. So the complement. He planned what to do next. Remember, it begins with this. These are the pronouns, pointers. These things are going to come again under adjectival clause. So that is why I widen the options, the pointers, so many things you have to know to direct you into the fact that this is a noun clause. Aside from this, remember I said you should look out for whether it can be replaced with either of this. either of this or even one noun. Remember. Okay, and then we'll have noun. I said a noun clause can be replaced with something, a pronoun, a noun, to see if it is grammatical. If you use this as your examination, let me examine this to find out if it's actually a noun clause, and any of these works, then it is definitely a noun clause. Thank you so much for paying attention. For your assignment, I want you to give me one example each for the functions of a noun clause. One, give me a sentence. The first one, give me a sentence where the noun clause is functioning as a subject. That's one. Give me another one where it is functioning as a direct object. Give me one where it is functioning as the object of preposition. Another one as an apposition, and another one as a complement. Thank you so much for paying attention. God bless you.